It is Monday. Monday. Best day of the week, in my opinion. You can make your week good or you can make your week crap. Just depends. Anyways, it'll be a short one tonight, guys. I am out here in my man cave shed, or whatever. I'd rather sit out here in the cold. It's the only place I can do anything quiet when you have kids running around. Anyways, so, some interesting facts. Reading about different military accounts, things like that, especially Vietnam, because I'm putting out that content on Hathcock. Interesting things is connecting dots and figuring stuff out. So Hollywood, of course, entertainment. Everything Hollywood does, a little bit of truth, a lot of bullshit. Everybody knows that. Some of my favorite military movies or war movies or whatnot. One of them is Enemy at the Gates with Jude Law. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that one. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Excellent movie. But, hey, Antonino, thanks for dropping in. But, it's funny because I watch these movies, and I'm reading these biographies on, Hathcock and all these other guys, whatever. And then I'm just like, okay, Enemy at the Gates. Oh, yeah, it's a great show. Hey, Capello, thanks for dropping in, man. There's the part where he shoots the dude and it goes right through the scope, right into the dude's face or whatever, kills him. So I'm reading about Carlos Hathcock, man, and I guess he did that in Vietnam. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's where Enemy at the Gates got it. I'm sure there's other people that have probably shot somebody through the scope, but I mean, I was thinking about marksmanship or whatnot. How do you top that one, man? I mean, once you shoot somebody through a scope and you get a nice clean kill going right through their skull, man, there's no one-up in that shit. I mean, I can't think of any way you could top that one. Doesn't matter. As far as marksmanship goes, man, that's freaking crazy. But, I was thinking about it watching that movie, and I was like, yeah, I mean, there's really not very many documented shots on stuff like that. Sure, yeah, exactly, Anthony, exactly. It's just a lot of people embellish, and at first when I was reading about this one, I thought, okay, yeah, it's full of shit, whatever. And then I'm reading, and then I'm checking out all these other people's accounts of what took place, and I was like, oh, damn, Hathcock really did pull that one off, apparently. But the other thing I was thinking about watching Enemy at the Gates, they're trying to use propaganda about this, Russian sniper who's taken out all these Germans in Stalingrad, whatever. A lot of propaganda, boosting him up, making him look like he's a bigger hero than he really is, stuff along that line. I thought about it, I'm like, the U.S. government does shit like that. I mean, it might not be exactly the same way as they were doing it propaganda-wise, but I mean, look at, you got Osama bin Laden gets killed, in that raid. Within, I don't know how much time, you've got Obama going out giving a speech tonight. Osama bin Laden's been killed by a team of Navy SEALs, whatever, right? So you've got that going on. You've got Lone Survivor with Marcus Luttrell. I mean, Marcus Luttrell came clean on a lot of shit, and he was saying that the Navy had an agent for him, already had somebody writing the book about it and everything along that line. By the time he got back to the States, that book was already published and out being circulated. You look at Rob O'Neill. I mean, there's that other guy, Matt Stone, whatever, Bassinet, something like that, who was the first person that went on 60 Minutes, wore all that weird makeup and shit, and he was talking about he was the one that shot bin Laden. Then Rob O'Neill comes out later, he's saying he shot bin Laden. There's all sorts of propaganda machine. They're really pushing Rob O'Neill's narrative, and then of course you've got some other people who are from that community, which they're calling bullshit, saying there was actually a third person that did it, but they don't want to come forward and take all the credit for it. And so I was just thinking about it. I was like, it's very similar to if you guys have seen Flags of Our Father, when the Marines and that corpsman lift the flag up on Iwo Jima, and then they have them parading around the United States to promote Liberty Bonds and things like that. It's like, shit, man, we're not communists here, but we do the same stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's when the truth starts to get folded too much and people tell the same lie over and over again, they forget that they're lying, or everybody believes it eventually. Um, I don't know. So it's kind of a weird thought that I had, and it's just some random shit going through my head about it. But I'll tell you what, maybe they should probably up their game on trying to get people to join the military. So maybe do push some other stuff and not all this woke pussy shit. Because quite frankly, most people go to the military because they want to get tough. I mean, it's let's see, when the U.S. government does it, it's patriotism for good or bad. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is right there. This is being patriotic. Promoting the thing, and I'm not a special operator or anything along that line. As far as these guys go that they promote and push. But if you're in a fire team, in an infantry fire team, you've got 3 other dudes in your fire team with you, and for the most part, anything that you guys, one person does, the rest of you guys all do together, basically in that sense. And like, it's, for instance, they teach you, this guy here, Lance Corporal, whomever, takes a shot, takes down an enemy combatant or whatnot. I would do a follow-up shot and shoot him again. I mean, if you're breaching and doing close quarter combat and stuff. And like with the Navy SEALs and all that stuff with Rob O'Neill, it's similar. A lot of people are saying that all it really was a follow-up shot. But I mean, it's stuff like that. You really think about it, it's your whole platoon or it's your whole fire team or whatever the case is. If you're at a FOB that went under fire or whatnot, and a bunch of enemy combatants you're engaged in, and your whole platoon in this area was holding it down or whatever. I mean, it's the credit goes to everybody for the most part. And then it seems like with a lot of it, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of alpha A-type personalities in the military. There, a lot of dudes kind of have that attitude, and you have to an extent. It's psychology wise, do you want somebody who's going to be like super passive, or somebody that's not going to go hard balls to the walls? But just thinking about it, it's when the platoon starts to lose credit and the individual starts to take credit, that's where the issues start. And I don't know, just random weird strange thoughts for the evening or whatnot. But I still got plenty of Hathcock stuff coming out. I'll drop another one tonight. Basically, it's him getting into Vietnam. More interesting stuff about Hathcock. And this part is true. I went and double checked a lot of stuff on it. But his son, he married his wife. They had their son November 10th, 1962. And what's funny is that's Carlos Hathcock III. Now the funny thing about it, and it's almost too legendary and coincidental to be true. That's why I had to fact check this one. Their son was born on the Marine Corps' birthday in 1962. You've got Carlos Hathcock, who's one of the most famous, celebrated, snipers that ever come out of the Marine Corps. I mean, what are the odds on that one? I mean, it's just, I don't know. Hey, thanks, Antonino. I appreciate it, man. I like making the content for you guys. It's like I say every live, if people want to share my stuff, if they want to use it to make their own content, anything like that, they're more than welcome to. It'll always be free. I think it should always be free, and it falls back into the self-help or anything along that line. So, I enjoy putting out content for you guys. I learn quite a bit too. A lot of this stuff isn't facts that I can just roll right off my head. I got a deep dive, and of course, the number one thing that pops up anytime you do internet searches or whatever is Wikipedia, and we know how trustworthy that can actually be. But I do enjoy it. It's cool. It's fun talking about some of these guys, famous military figures or firearm manufacturers or whatnot. Hearing their actual stories and not just what they created. But I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much for you guys all supporting my channel. But yeah, so that's kind of the rant tonight, guys. I'll end it here before the cold weather kills my battery or whatever. But you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I'll have more stuff coming soon.